Well, with the holidays quickly approaching, I am sure that we're all about to hear the question, hey, what do you want for Christmas? And if you're anything like me in that moment, you'll probably draw a blank and say something to the effect of, I don't know, I need to think about it. Let me get back to you. Well, luckily for you, I've been doing some thinking, and I pulled together this list to serve as a starting point for you. Use it as inspiration for your own wish list, or go ahead and send this video to someone who maybe needs a little nudge in the right shopping direction. For full transparency, before we jump into the list, the products I've included here are either things that I know and use and would gift to my own friends, or things that are legitimately on my own wish list this year. Some of the links included are affiliate links, which means that at no additional cost to you, if you click through and purchase those products, I'll get a small kickback. And while it certainly helps to keep some gas in the troopy and keep us on the road, an affiliate link alone is not a good enough reason for me to include something. First and foremost, it has to be a good and useful product. I think, simply put, I know that I earn my trust with you by making good and honest recommendations, and I can erode that all away by simply being a corporate shill. So, with that said, let's dive right in. Now, as much fun as it is collecting shiny new gear, and believe me, I love it just as much as the next person, this hobby really is the best when you're focused on getting out there and putting it to the test. And the gift ideas in this category are designed to help you get outside and fuel your adventures, both literally and figuratively. Now, I'm personally a huge fan of this first idea. I think it is great as a stocking stuffer or even as a main gift for that person who already has everything and you can never figure out what to get for them. And that is a fuel gift card. Head down to your local Maverick or Quick Trip or Pilot Flying J and grab them a gift card for gas. You'll literally be helping them fuel their adventure, and the bonus here is that they'll think of you when they're out filling up to get on that adventure. Well, I don't know if it's just my age or the fact that as a kid I would wait and wait for these video game magazines to come in the mail, but to this day, I love a good magazine. And I think we are so lucky in this hobby to have a couple of great publications that can really serve to fuel our sense of adventure. Things like Overland Journal, OVR, Exploration Quarterly is a newer one. They are just awesome, full of incredible pictures and trip reports and stories that can really inspire your own adventures. I think that giving a magazine subscription as a gift, either a digital subscription or a physical one, can be a really great idea. Now I'm going to let you in on my all-time secret weapon. When I'm looking for a new place to explore, a new route to travel, or a new trail to hit, the first place I go is overlandtrailguides.com. I've been a member there for, I think, over 3 years now, and it is an invaluable resource to me. Ben and his team at OTG are doing such a great job. They're constantly releasing new routes. They're covering more and more of the world, it feels like, every single day. And their trail write-ups and route reports are just such a source of inspiration for my own journey. And I think if you're looking to get a gift for someone who is maybe getting caught up in that planning and research phase or struggling to figure out where they want to go, what they want to do, gifting them a membership to Overland Trail Guides might just be your best bet. Now finally here, to help someone fuel their adventure, I think a really great gift is a guidebook, either for their local trails, especially if they're just getting started in the hobby, or maybe for one of their dream destinations. If they're always talking about making that trip to Moab or out to Colorado, you can pick up a guidebook for the trails and back roads in that area, and then they'll see it sitting on the shelf and one day decide to pull it out and actually start planning that trip, which is exactly what we're after here. I personally love the series put out by Fun Treks, the Backroads and 4x4 Trails guidebooks they do, but a lot of times you can find them written by a local off-road club or a local author who just loves hitting the trails. So a quick Google search with your location and 4x4 Trails guide should point you in the right direction, and I really don't think you can go wrong here. I get a lot of joy and fulfillment out of wrenching on my own rig, and if you do too, then this is the category for you. Well, this first one feels a little bit silly, but when you're out here wrenching, you are inevitably going to get covered in oil and grease and grime, and I got sick of losing otherwise perfectly good t-shirts to those stains that wouldn't come out in the laundry. And that's where Walt's Used Workwear comes in. They have all sorts of used workwear, it's in the name, for like under 10 bucks, and they're constantly running sales. So I get to be Steven from Mavis Tire for a day, and the shirt cost me $3.50. Or I could be Wesley from Pete's Tire Barn, and that's part of the fun here. You never know what you're gonna get. I honestly don't know how they get their hands on these work shirts, if they're just guys who didn't cut it their first week on the job, or the company over-ordered and had to do something with the extras. But at $3.50, the beautiful thing here is I can absolutely beat up on this my first time wearing it. And if the second time I use it has to be as a shop rag, so be it. Sure, maybe it's a bit of a gag gift, but I actually think it's pretty functional too. Now, tools are hard, and I usually only recommend gifting tools if you know the person or their toolbox quite well, because everyone has their own preferences and opinions on what they want to use and store in their toolbox. But I do think that it's hard to go wrong with a unique set or tool. And one that I really love is the Wera Tool Check Plus. It comes with a mini driver and a mini ratchet and a huge assortment of bits. And I find myself grabbing this all the time. If I'm working in a tight space or just on a project where I don't really know what I need at the start, I can grab this and have just about everything to get through with a project, and it really comes in handy. One that's on my own list this year is the Koken Attack Driver set, because I'm a sucker for anything that comes in a cool steel box and that legendary Japanese quality. And finally, maybe as a catch-all for that wrench turner in your life, I don't think you can go wrong with an auto parts gift card. Something like O'Reilly's or AutoZone or even Rock Auto. You can say, hey, put it towards the next thing you break on a trail, or get yourself an oil change on me, and I know it'll get put to good use and they'll be thankful for it. Now, this might sound a little bit sacrilegious, but sometimes you don't need new gear in your life. You just need to give the gear you already have a little bit of TLC. And the gift ideas in this category are designed to help you do just that. The first one is tenacious tape, and I think carrying this stuff is a no-brainer. It's great for field repairs if you need to patch a tent or your raincoat or almost anything you can think of. Tenacious tape is probably going to do the trick. And along the same lines of that, I also love the no-sew patches. If you've got a rip in your puffer jacket or your fleece, your base layer, even some of your gear, your sleeping bag, your quilt, no-sew patches can let you make a more permanent fix, and they've got some pretty cool designs where you can add a little bit of flair to it as well. Now, I think another great option in this category is a set of technical detergent and re-waterproofing liquid. It's always something on my to-do list to clean my gear, to re-waterproof it, but somehow it always slips my mind. And I think getting the materials to do it as a gift might be that final kick in the pants I need to actually take a weekend and re-waterproof my raincoats. Now, I can't talk about taking care of our gear without also talking about taking care of our rigs a little bit. And something that I've honestly used way more than I expected to is this little Fantic portable car vacuum cleaner. It has made cleaning up after trips such a breeze. Getting rid of the dirt or the sand or the dog hair that gets trapped in here on a long weekend out has never been easier. And I think something like this is a great gift idea because it's one of those things that is often overlooked. Unless you're going and getting a full car wash, how many times are you really vacuuming out all those nooks and crannies? And with this, it's a no-brainer. Now, if you're shopping for someone who is a total gearhead and already seems to have everything, this might be the category for you. Because when it comes to everyday carry, I don't think you can ever have too many options. And the first thing we're talking about on this list are flashlights. For a long time now, my go-to flashlight brand has been Olight. This is the Arkfeld Pro, and this is the Seeker 2, and I've pretty much always got these on me. They live in the Troopy, and they are so functional. I like Olight for a couple of reasons. I think the first is that they're just well-built and durable, and they're well-priced. They have such a huge variety of flashlights to choose from that you can find something for just about anyone. They all use this magnetic charger that I think is really cool, and it's especially nice on the Troopy, where the whole body is steel, and I can just mount it wherever I need it, up under the hood, in a wheel well, on a door, you name it. They really come in handy. Now, another thing worth talking about here is a multi-tool. I think everyone should have a good multi-tool, whether it's in your glove box or on your person, because they're just so functional and so versatile. Obviously, Leatherman here is a tried and true brand. You can find me carrying either a Signal or a Wave from Leatherman. Those are my two preferred models. But Gerber and other people make multi-tools, and no one's ever going to complain about having an extra multi-tool because you can put it in a new place. Keep it in the garage, keep it in your toolbox, keep it in your other car. You can never have too many multi-tools. Well, now finally, and maybe most importantly on this list, are first aid kits. A good first aid kit is an essential part of your everyday carry, and in the Troopy, I've got two. I've got this smaller individual first aid kit, and then I also carry a larger group kit with me. Both of these are from My Medic, and I really love the first aid kits that they put together. They're super well designed with everything you need and nothing you don't. But I think what really sets them apart is the layout when you open them up. In an urgent situation, the last thing you want is to have to be rifling through your entire kit to find the gauze or the Band-Aids or the medications. And the way they've got this designed, everything is available to you at a quick glance. And that could really be the difference between life and death even. Now, the other thing I really like about My Medic is that hopefully you've already got a first aid kit. But first aid kits have a ton of expiration dates inside of them. And if you're lucky enough to not have to dig into your first aid kit very often, then I wonder when the last time you checked some of those dates might be. Well, My Medic actually sells these great refill kits for pretty much any section of a first aid kit. You can go and refill just the medications or the topicals or the bandages or the gauze, anything you might need. And I really like those med packs and refill packs as gifts because they might not need a full kit, but it never hurts to top off the one you already have. Well, now I want to talk about some gear that is going to help you when you're out on the trails. And the first one up is a folding saw. For the longest time, I was someone who only carried an axe. I figured its main use was splitting firewood at camp, and if I ever came across a downed tree and need to clear a trail, I'd have no problem. Until I came across a downed tree and spent the next almost 2 hours hacking away with it at an axe and hating my life. That's when I added a folding saw to my kit, and this has come in handy way more times than I can count. It goes together super quickly. You get great tension on the blade, and this makes clearing trails way easier. Unless you're going to carry a chainsaw with you full time, I think this is about as good as it gets. And when it folds up, it's super compact, super lightweight, and you don't even really know you've got it until you need it. Now, I hope that if you're out there hitting trails, you're already carrying a tire repair kit with you because that's one of the most essential pieces of gear. But my new favorite addition to that is a glue tread sidewall patch kit. I have been on trails and seen sidewall blowouts at least a handful of times. Twice now, I've used all of my little puncture patches to, stuff 20 or 30 of them in there, try to seal it up enough for us to limp off a trail. But now with the sidewall patches from Glue Tread, you're going to have a lot easier time. Luckily, I haven't had to rip into this kit yet, but knowing that I have it is great peace of mind. So if someone's already got a tire repair kit out there, I think something like this Glue Tread sidewall patch kit makes a great gift for them. Now, I already know this one might be the most controversial thing on the list. This is my Morphlate tire inflation and deflation kit. It lets me air up and air down all 4 of my tires at once, and I absolutely love it. I say it's controversial because I know someone is already typing out the comment, I do all 4 of my tires faster than you and I do them one at a time. And that may be true. Does this actually save you time? I don't know. Does it feel like it makes the process that much nicer? Totally. And so if you're shopping for someone who already has everything when they get out and hit the trails, but they don't already have a 4-way tire inflation kit, I think this could be a great gift for them. And finally here, if we're talking about making life just a little bit better on the trails, I think a good pair of work gloves goes a long way. These are Mechanics brand gloves. I carry 2 sets in the truck, and if you're clearing a trail, repairing a tire, putting on a spare, or doing some bigger job because you broke something on your truck, these are really going to come in handy. Well, just as the sun is setting here, we are on to our final category, and that is gift ideas for at camp. And I think that camping gadgets are one of the best places to give gifts for someone like you or I, because there's always something new to try, there's always something cool and unique that you can find, and when you get out as much as we do, we're always willing to put new gear to the test. One thing that's on my list this year is the new Devos Light Ranger Mini. I've loved the Devos Light Ranger line since they launched. I think it's one of the most unique and new ideas in terms of camp lighting that there's been in a long time. And the Light Ranger Mini specifically, I think is the perfect form factor for me. I don't need the massive tripod, so the smaller tripod, a little bit less lumens, it's going to be perfect, and I've got my fingers crossed for that one. Now, in terms of comfort at camp, this next one really changed the game for me, and that is my quilt from Aeronaut Outdoor. I have never slept with a more comfortable piece of bedding while I'm camping than I have since I got this quilt. If you've got someone who is still sleeping in a sleeping bag or taking their normal blankets from home and you really want to upgrade their camping setup for them, get them an Aeronaut quilt. It will be the best thing you've ever done for them. And now finally here, I just did a big review video for portable camp coffee machines, and this one was the clear winner. This is the Auden Nano portable espresso maker, and I think this is such a cool machine. You can go from cold water and coffee grounds to a hot shot of espresso in under 200 seconds. It has changed my mornings at camp for the better, and if you've got a coffee lover in your life, I think a gadget like this is totally going to knock their socks off. Well, now, if you are in need of some inspiration, I hope that list at least gets you pointed in the right direction. Thank you so much for being here, and until next time, get out and explore somewhere.